Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller, and I wanted to talk to you about knowledge statements. What do they look like? How are you going to see them in the different courses with me? So what kind of information would we start off with that everybody could start off with so that you could go to a different course and get, knowledge from that course? That would be different from your task that you would perform or your skills that you would have to exhibit in your work role. So the place that I start is usually with well-grounded, well-understood tools like CFS tools. And that's the cybersecurity framework. This is a US-based NIST concept, but it is being used globally throughout. Now, a lot of people don't want to use the NIST concepts, but they want to know how that maps to other kind of frameworks that are out there. You can look at the visualizer, and by the way, this is kind of one of the really cool pieces of the interface here, but I can't quite figure out how to make this work and what it's actually supposed to do. But what you care about is the things that are up above or actually are right on top of my head right here. Your organization is cloud ready, or you're doing lots of things with clouds. So you care about the cloud controls matrix, but it's got a map to something for another company or for another organization that doesn't have cloud. And that's what's really beautiful about the CFS Tools website, is that it maps all the different frameworks that are out there, like CI Security Critical Security Controls, Cloud Matrix, NIST Special Publication 853. That would be if you're in the US military and you need to do evaluations that way. Or it might just be the plain old privacy framework, and that's the only thing that you actually care about. This allows us to map from all the different frameworks that are out there and talk about a common set of controls. Now, you go, Dean, I really am not worried about that. I'm much more technical and I do something else. Well, then the other tools that we would use when describing knowledge would be something like the National Vulnerability Database, or maybe common weaknesses and exploits, CAPEC, or my favorite right now, which is MITRE ATT&CK. It looks at things a little bit different way. So each one of those is a piece of the puzzle of cybersecurity knowledge. Now, if you go and you look at the knowledge statements, I think that there are 640, 650 knowledge statements that are out there. I know which ones fit with which role and also which ones fit with which certifications. And I'll make sure that I cover that. For instance, there's a big section on knowledge of cryptology. What could we use for cryptology? I know. I've got an idea. Let's use CyberChef. So CyberChef right here allows us to do most all of the programming for cryptology in a very visual way. For each one of the topics that is out there that's supposed to be covered in a particular course, when we're talking about knowledge, we usually start off with one of these things that is well understood, well defined by large bodies and large organizations. That's what you're going to see in the knowledge statements. We start there and we work our way down into the little details. So that's what that's all about, and I hope I see you soon in a course.